Perfectly imperfect. My name is Katie, and until 2 weeks ago, I thought my life was pretty close to perfect. I'm 29 years old, living in Seattle, working as a graphic designer at a small agency I genuinely enjoy. Most importantly, I've been in a relationship for the past 4 years with Daniel, someone who, until recently, I genuinely believed was my best friend and my forever partner. We met at a friend's wedding, ironically enough, 4 years ago. Daniel was charming, witty, and thoughtful. Everyone liked him. My parents adored him, my friends envied our relationship, and I felt safe and loved. We moved in together 2 years ago into a cozy apartment downtown. Weekend brunches, movie nights, and hiking trips became our rituals. He supported my dreams, and I cheered him on at every soccer game he played in his local league. We were inseparable, or so I believed. Something was off. Looking back, I realize now there were subtle signs I chose to ignore. Daniel had become increasingly protective of his phone, often angling it away from me when texting. His work schedule started including late-night meetings, something unusual for his IT job. I brushed these things off, telling myself I was overthinking. After all, we trusted each other, right? The doubt first crept in about 3 weeks ago. Daniel came home late from yet another work dinner, showered immediately, and went straight to bed without his usual evening chat. I lay awake beside him, feeling uneasy for the first time in our 4-year relationship. The discovery. It all unraveled on a rainy Friday afternoon. Daniel was at work, or so I thought. I was working remotely, catching up on some deadlines. My laptop battery died, and in my rush to finish a project, I reached for Daniel's tablet, something I rarely used. As I opened the browser, a chat notification popped up. "Can't wait to see you tonight, Red Heart. Missed you yesterday." My heart dropped. I stared at the screen, paralyzed. This had to be a mistake. Who was this Jess? Hands trembling, I clicked open the chat and began reading. My stomach twisted painfully as the messages revealed months of flirtation, secret meetups, intimate exchanges, and clear declarations of affection. I felt physically ill. Confrontation. I sat numbly for hours, unsure of how to process this. When Daniel walked in that evening, I was sitting at our dining table, the tablet open in front of me. He knew immediately by my expression something was terribly wrong. "Katie, what's going on?" His voice was cautious, uncertain. I simply turned the tablet around, showing him the open messages. The color drained from his face. "Katie, listen, I can explain." "Explain what, Daniel?" My voice was shaking, my eyes stinging with tears. "Explain months of lying? Months of betrayal?" He tried to approach me, but I backed away sharply, anger now overshadowing my sadness. "Don't touch me. Don't even come near me. Katie, it was a mistake. It didn't mean anything." "Months of messages, Daniel. That's not a mistake, that's a choice. Every single day, you chose to lie to my face." He sank into the chair, head bowed, defeated. "I'm sorry," he whispered, looking utterly broken. But I felt no sympathy, only rage and heartbreak. Picking up the pieces. I spent that night at my best friend's house, crying into glasses of wine while she rubbed my back and whispered comforting words. But the pain was overwhelming. 4 years of memories felt suddenly tainted and meaningless. The following days were a blur of anger, tears, and difficult conversations. Daniel begged me for forgiveness, promising it was over with Jess, pleading for another chance. But how could I trust him again? How could I ever look at him without seeing betrayal? I moved my things out over the next week, heartbroken yet resolved. Every packed box was another goodbye to the future we'd built, now broken beyond repair. A fresh start. 2 weeks later, I'm living temporarily with my friend, slowly rebuilding my world. I won't lie, the betrayal still stings deeply. But each day gets a little easier. My family and friends have been incredible, reminding me of my worth and helping me heal. Daniel still texts, apologizing, expressing regret. I've learned to delete them without replying, a small step towards reclaiming control over my heart and life. I'm sharing this because I know many out there have faced similar heartache. Betrayal is brutal, but it's not the end. It's a painful, messy new beginning, and that's exactly what I'm determined to make it. A secret messenger. After the initial shock wore off, I was left feeling hollow. Each moment felt heavier than the last, and it took every ounce of strength I had just to carry on with my daily life. But I still couldn't bring myself to confront Josh directly, not without more solid proof. My instinct screamed that he was hiding something major, something he would never willingly admit. One evening, I sat alone at home, wrapped in a blanket, staring blankly at my laptop screen. That's when a notification popped up, an Instagram message request. It startled me slightly. I rarely received messages from strangers, so my curiosity was instantly piqued. Clicking the notification, I saw the sender's username, Alyssa.d2022. The name was unfamiliar. No mutual friends, a private profile. Hesitating for only a second, I opened the message, feeling a strange mix of dread and intrigue. "Hi, you don't know me, but there's something important I think you should see. It's about your boyfriend, Josh. I'm really sorry to reach out like this, but you deserve to know." My heartbeat quickened. Who was this person, and how did they know Josh? My hand shook as I typed back. "Who are you? What exactly are you talking about?" The reply came almost instantly, as if Alyssa had been waiting anxiously on the other end. "I'm sending you screenshots. Again, I'm really sorry." Seconds later, photos started appearing. They were screenshots of text conversations between Josh and Alyssa herself. My breath caught painfully as I read through their flirtatious exchanges, Josh calling her beautiful, arranging to meet secretly. The messages were dated from months ago, some even recent. And worst of all was the undeniable familiarity in Josh's words, expressions, and even the same emojis he'd often send me. My stomach turned at the nauseating sense of betrayal. I typed furiously. "How long has this been happening?" Alyssa's response was hesitant, almost regretful. "About 5 months. He told me he wasn't serious with you, that you two were on the verge of breaking up. I only found out the truth recently from social media, seeing your posts together. I felt horrible once I knew." Reading this, my heart sank even deeper. 5 months. How had I missed this? Had I been that blind? Did you meet him in person? My question was direct, desperate for the full truth. Her reply came slowly, as though she too dreaded the impact of her next words. "We did. Several times. He always came to my apartment." "I'm so sorry. I had no idea he was lying." I leaned back, overwhelmed. This was exactly the proof I'd subconsciously dreaded finding. Everything suddenly felt very real. My relationship wasn't just crumbling, it had already collapsed long ago without my knowledge. A painful confrontation. That night, as I lay awake staring at the ceiling, anger slowly replaced sadness. I couldn't let Josh think he'd gotten away with it. He had lied to me, manipulated me, humiliated me, and I deserved answers, if not justice. Early next morning, I texted Josh simply. "We need to talk. Come over today." He replied within minutes, oblivious and cheerful. "Of course, babe, see you soon." "Everything okay?" I didn't answer. Instead, I printed out the screenshots Alyssa had sent, setting them neatly on my kitchen table. The wait felt eternal, each minute grinding my nerves. When the doorbell finally rang, my heart leaped into my throat. Opening the door, I felt detached, watching myself welcome him inside as though observing someone else's nightmare. Josh smiled, stepping in casually, leaning in for our usual kiss. I turned away sharply, my expression cold. Confused, he pulled back. "What's going on, Jess?" His voice had an innocent tone that enraged me further. I led him silently to the table and gestured toward the printed screenshots. As his eyes fell onto the pages, his face visibly drained of color. The charming mask he always wore shattered instantly, replaced by sheer panic. "Jess, listen," he began, desperation evident. "Explain," I cut him off sharply, my voice shaking. 5 months, Josh? 5 months of lying to my face, sleeping beside me after coming from her place? You told her we weren't serious? How could you do that to me?" His mouth opened and closed like a fish gasping for air, the truth trapping him like a net. It's not what you think," he stammered weakly. "Then tell me what it was, Josh," I demanded, anger surging powerfully through me. "Tell me how exactly this isn't cheating. Because from where I stand, it's exactly what it looks like." Josh ran his hand through his hair, pacing. It was a stupid mistake, Jess. It didn't mean anything serious. I swear. I was lost, we were fighting all the time and she was convenient? I finished for him, bitterness dripping from each syllable. And I wasn't enough? No, Jess, that's not what I meant. Stop lying. My voice cracked sharply, cutting through his excuses. Just for once, be honest. You chose this. You chose to betray me. He finally stopped pacing and looked at me, eyes brimming with regret. I'm sorry. I never wanted to hurt you. I messed up, and I'll spend every day regretting it. For a second, his remorse tugged at my heart, but I held firm. I deserved better than empty apologies. I trusted you, I said quietly, feeling tears burn my eyes. I trusted you with everything. New beginnings and closure. In the weeks following our confrontation, my life felt both chaotic and eerily quiet. Friends rallied around me, their support helping me navigate the emotional roller coaster I'd found myself on. Josh texted me repeatedly, begging for forgiveness, promising changes. I ignored every message, every call. I couldn't bring myself to revisit the betrayal over and over again. Surprisingly, Alyssa reached out again. This time, she simply wanted to apologize once more, offering genuine remorse and an understanding ear. Strangely enough, despite our painful connection, we ended up forming a cautious friendship. Our bond was unusual, but we shared a unique experience, a deep betrayal by someone we both trusted. Slowly, day by day, I started to heal. I focused on myself, rediscovering hobbies I'd forgotten, reconnecting with old friends I'd neglected because of Josh, and pouring energy into my career. It hurt less each day, though there were moments when memories flooded in unexpectedly, bringing waves of sadness. Months later, at my favorite cafe, I bumped into Josh unexpectedly. Seeing him felt surreal, like an encounter from another lifetime. He looked changed, older, wearier. Hey, Jess, he started softly, clearly nervous. How have you been? I paused, then smiled gently. Honestly? Better. He nodded slowly. I'm glad to hear it. You deserve better than what I gave you. I know, I said simply. There was nothing more to say. Closure sometimes isn't dramatic, it's quiet, soft, and freeing. We parted ways politely, without bitterness or anger. Walking away, I felt an overwhelming relief, as though I'd finally closed a heavy chapter and opened a fresh new page. In the end, discovering Josh's betrayal was excruciatingly painful, but it also forced me to see my own worth. The scars remained, but so did wisdom and strength. I learned that sometimes, heartbreak is the cruel catalyst that pushes you toward the life you truly deserve. Because of the pain, I found my voice, my strength, and most importantly, I found myself again. And maybe, after all, that's exactly what I needed. End of story.